So my name is Elliot Koolik, and Deborah, thank you for that great introduction. I'm one of you. I've been selling real estate for the last 25 years, just to the north in Boca Raton. And if anyone ever asks me where I have been the most frustrated with the process of selling real estate, it's been how we communicate. Because if you know, we're texting, we're emailing, we talked about the international markets, they're WhatsApping you, it's all over the place. And so about 3 years ago, I went to my partner and I explained, how frustrated I was, and we started Agent Inbox, which, as Deborah pointed out, is a communication platform that is now embedded in your MLS. It is agent-to-agent communication. It is agent to buyer and seller. It gives your MLS the ability to message directly with you. Your brokerage will be able to communicate with you, and ultimately all the third-party vendors that you want to communicate with, the inspectors, the appraisers, everyone, the decorator, the builder, you will be able to message in full context through Agent Inbox. I'm proud to say that in about a year, we have over 100,000 agents have the ability to use Agent Inbox. And we believe that we are leading the messaging revolution as it relates to our industry. Whether we like it or not, we are living in a messaging world. If you look at the headlines, everywhere you turn, even including, it's not up there, but the Miami Herald, everybody is talking about how are we communicating with each other. Because as you know, if you try to call anyone in this room right now, the odds are it will go to voicemail, right? If you try to text somebody, because I can promise you that all of your contact information is not in everybody else's phone book. So what happens is half the time we are texting each other, but we don't know who we're texting with. They might write in the text message, oh, it's Elliot Koolik and I want to see 123 Elm Street, but the reality is it's not an efficient way to keep it organized. So this is a perfect example. We are using messaging in our consumer life, whether it's our kids and some of us using Snapchat, whether we're using Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, goes on and on and on. And if you look at other industries, and I'm sure you've seen some ads in on TV like Slack, $4 billion market cap company, everybody is messaging within that industry, within this very secure, very transparent messaging world. And when I say messaging, it doesn't mean that texting isn't messaging, right? It is. It's a form of messaging. But the problem is it's not as organized as it should be. And it was a great solution, but it's not the real solution as we move forward. If you look at our social networks, Facebook's a perfect example. It used to be that everybody was communicating through Facebook or any of the other social platforms. Now, all of the messaging platforms that I mentioned are all surpassing it. My kids do not text each other. They all use Snapchat. And so it goes on. And whatever messaging platform is appropriate to make us more efficient is the platform that we should use. So, as I said, there is a migration to messaging, no doubt about it, because we're all doing it. And calls and emails, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be speaking to each other. But the truth is the organization of that type of communication is not the greatest. So we should use some blend of calling. Doesn't mean you can't text, but the foundation of how we communicate as an association should be through Agent Inbox. Because the truth is, imagine if you had 3 different MLS search platforms where you're all searching. So the association here said, you know what? This is the MLS, we use CoreLogic, this is how we're going to do our searching, and this is going to be the foundation of how we can all communicate together and how we can do more business. What is currently available to me is very slow, it's non-contextual, you don't always know who you're talking to, you don't know what property you're talking about, and Agent Inbox messaging is real time, it's fully transparent, and it's more natural, and it's really like we're talking, because that's what we've all defaulted to in our consumer life. And the interesting thing is, if you look at the best agents in this room, I can guarantee you, especially the ones that have been in the business for a while, they were the first ones that started using email. They were the first ones that had the first website. They were the first ones who got a CRM. So the days of writing on the outside of a folder, the days of having a million pieces of paper, it's just not the way. It doesn't mean you can't do it that way, right? change is intimidating, but I can promise you after selling real estate for 25 years, when that buyer calls me and I have to rush to my trunk to find the folder because I worked with them 2 weeks ago and my papers are everywhere, is not a pleasant way to perform business, right? And it certainly doesn't work well when you work with that, customer. So we are leveraging this MLS network. So basically, by doing that, we are taking the MLS database and we are giving you guys the ability to be more productive and have much more organized conversations. We think the transactions from the point that you start talking to a buyer all the way to closing become, we call it like much more authentic. That it's not all over the place and we're so confused. I mean, it's bad enough that we're trying to compete, we're trying to make a living, we're trying to manage our personal life, and then we're trying to stay organized with our customers and, trying to make it better for us. You're going to enjoy yourself. Oh, I don't know what that is. And then finally, using an agent inbox platform is much more secure than using the current system. So anyone who is left in the woods, which is what this example is, what ends up happening is the agents that are hard to do business with, they're hard to reach, nobody wants to work with them unless they have all the listings, right? Because those other agents and it's just, everything's always a problem. The same thing with less relevant and productive agents. If they're using disjointed technology, their customers are not going to want to work with them as much as someone who's a little more forward thinking. And then finally, the he said, she said thing goes on all the time. You speak to someone, you maybe texted them, hopefully they got it, then you're negotiating the deal, they say you didn't say it, everything Agent Inbox is completely time-stamped, and I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like. So when you're having those conversations, it's very organized, you know what property you're talking about, it's all time-stamped, and it's in one place. So what is the common thread? All agents now, because of what I've articulated, expect a messaging experience. So what we envision is that there is a messaging-centric MLS where we have unified communication. It's built for us, because of my experience. We're all stakeholders in it. And then ultimately, you are going to be able to communicate with all your third-party vendors right through Agent Inbox. Keep it really organized, and it's in full context, and all the MLS information is right there. So right now, what we believe is it's communication chaos, and that by using Agent Inbox, and you can message and schedule right through this platform, everything's nice and neat. Every agent, every listing, everywhere within Agent Inbox. Team efficiency. If we work with a partner or you have a team and you want to coordinate all of your conversations, all within Agent Inbox, you can have private conversations. I can be talking to my buyer. I can tell my assistant, you know what, we need to, let's see this house again. And the buyer can't see it, and it's all in one nice, neat place. And then the personal touch. I mean, the speakers before talked about that. You need to be giving the best service to your customers if you want them to work with you. And if you look at how they're operating in their own personal consumer life, they expect this in our industry. So this is what it looks like. So from the MLS, they'll be able to message you. And by the way, I'm going to be doing training tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock and at 3 o'clock in the East office and the West office. So we're going to give you a full demo of how this looks, and it'll be really great if a lot of you show up. This is what it looks like on your app. So you can see the conversations. To the one on the left, you can see what property. You can call them. All the details, if you want to call them, are right there. So you're not buried into just messaging, but it's all very available. If you want to do a route, it's all organized, and you can see all the properties and all the conversations related to each property. If you want to message with any agent, like a direct message, all of the contact information is already in Agent Inbox. And you can't see it, but this is actually one of your listings. I'm happy to say we went live, and on every listing on the bottom left is a message schedule button that brings you right into Agent Inbox. So what I want you guys to think about is, if someone said to you before I spoke to you, what is your messaging strategy? I think you would think I have 3 heads. But just like you have a strategy to run your business, you have to have a strategy to be it. How are you going to manage the communications that you're having with everybody in this process? And if you do it effectively and you do it efficiently, like everyone else who's using it around the country, you're going to find that Agent Inbox is an incredible solution. And to Deborah's point, the reason that the association in Jupiter is doing so well, 80% of the agents in that market have downloaded Agent Inbox, and they're using it, and they're very, very happy. So thank you so much for having me here, and let's sell some homes this year.